Deciding what to cook every day it might be a silly decision, but it is a draining decision every single day. Within 24 hours, I had over 600 people registered. And that really showed me how desperate.
How deep the need is.
Exactly. Tech is never gonna cook your meal for you. It'll taste different. It will. When I first launched it, I was a little embarrassed, but it had to be done. If I wait until the app is perfect, that means I'm too late.
Arij's story began with one simple everyday question. What's for dinner? But for her, that question became something bigger.
A biochemist, a mother of three, and author of Empowering Women Through Cooking.
She turned a personal struggle into a mission and built Youfeed, a tech solution supporting families everywhere.
You don't see yourself as a typical tech founder, and you're building an AI and tech product. Welcome, friends. MENA Means Business, and because you're watching this, I am certain so do you. My name is Meena Tariq, and I'm the CEO at Metric, where we've built the chief financial AI for business owners across emerging markets. I take many decisions every single day, but somebody recently asked me, what is the one decision that keeps me up at night? And if I'm honest, it's the decision about what are we going to cook for lunch the next day? Because while I'm a business owner, I'm also mom to a 5-year-old. And surprise, surprise, kids nowadays need to be fed every single day for them to be happy and healthy and growing. And this is the one decision that probably drains my battery the most. So today we have in our studio with us an amazing entrepreneur who's solving exactly this problem. Welcome, Arij.
Thanks, Meena. Thanks for having me.
No, we're super excited. So tell us more about Youfeed and why did you start this?
So Youfeed is an app that at the moment is free to download, and it tells you what to cook every day. I realized many, many years ago, as a mom of 3, I have, my eldest is 19, so I've been struggling with this for quite a while. And deciding what to cook every day it might be a silly decision, but it is a draining decision every single day. And you're constantly asked, what are we eating? What are we cooking? You're trying to balance nutrition with variety so that you raise non-picky eaters, expose them to so many different cuisines. And moms were constantly asking each other, what are you cooking today? What are you cooking today? And that's why I started the app, to help them with this, with this decision. And when you have the meal ready and you know what you're cooking for the week, you reduce food waste as well. Yeah. So if you know what you're planning, you know what you're cooking, you send off to the supermarket, and you reduce food waste, and you can just sit and relax and have a really nice meal.
So walk me through it a little bit. If I'm a new user, where do I go? Do I download this? Is it an app? Is it a website? Walk me through what my journey kind of looks like.
So it's an app. It's available on all the stores. You go in, you register, and you go through the filters if you want to. If you have no filters, then you just go straight and it generates your weekly menu. If you have the filters, whether it's allergens, disliked ingredients, different cuisines.
My 5-year-old has a whole list of things she will not eat.
Well, actually, your 5-year-old maybe should go on it and do the filters with you. You just fill out your filters, and then you just press generate, and it gives you a whole weekly menu with the recipes, the methods, the ingredients. And now I'm building in the shopping list feature. And hopefully soon I will integrate with supermarkets, and you can just, close the loop. And that way you've done everything on your phone for the week.
That's amazing. So when did you start Youfeed?
I started a couple of years ago. I was advised as a founder to not wait until the app is perfect. If I wait until the app is perfect, that means I'm too late.
Yeah.
So I launched the app, and it was quite embarrassing.
Okay.
When I first launched it, I was a little embarrassed, but it had to be done. And it spent around 8 months with feedback, with a certain number of people using it.
Yeah.
I think it was over 1,000 users.
I was going to say, even if it was embarrassing, you probably learned a lot from that.
I wrote every single feedback down. And what was actually quite amazing is that I remember I just sent it on WhatsApp groups. And within 24 hours, I had over 600 people registered, because that really showed me how desperate.
How deep the need is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And from those people, from those users, I got a lot of feedback, and I worked on the development of the app. My team is actually in Jordan. They're a wonderful team. And we started building and adjusting, and it's still not perfect. It's still an MVP.
Yeah.
So but there's so much to do, so much feedback. But the core of the app, which is generating a menu, that works really nicely because I try to balance my weekly menu for my family. Like one day meat, one day fish, one day chicken, one day vegetarian. I've actually put that in the app, so you have a very nice balance throughout the week. And the cuisines are, they're a reflection of the UAE, really. It's a lot of Arabic. There's Turkish, Indian, Pakistani, Italian, global. It's a lot of recipes from friends and family.
Yeah.
So that way, I'm trying also to preserve a lot of family recipes.
Because you have that cultural kind of side to your mission as well, right? Because you want to preserve, I know, the cultures that come with a lot of different people into this melting pot, which is the UAE, and with them, their recipes and their love for food.
Well, exactly. Especially in the UAE, people are living away from home. And one way that you're rooted is through your food. And if you notice, whenever you're sitting with a bunch of different nationalities and you're eating, everybody starts talking about, we eat this that way, we eat that way. There's a lot of debate, a lot of heated debate sometimes as well, with even how you pronounce certain ingredients in certain languages.
Yes.
And food is just, I think it brings out the passion in people.
Yeah, and I think passing on our food as a part of our culture to our kids also gives so much. I know I'm personally very proud that my 5-year-old eats spicy biryani. Like that is a parenting
excellent
win in my books. Arij, tell me, stepping a little bit away from the food piece of it, but to the tech piece of it. I know you call yourself not a typical tech founder, even though you have a degree in biotech.
No, biochemistry.
Biochemistry.
Yeah.
But you don't see yourself as a typical tech founder. And you've come into this journey and you're building an AI and tech product. What has your kind of biggest learning been as a non-tech founder building a tech startup?
I think to not hate tech so much. I think that was I found tech and I have a love-hate relationship, really. I understand the importance of tech.
Yeah.
I'm a little afraid of it for the younger generation. I think it has to be a happy balance. That's what you have to do with tech. I think you have to find a happy balance. It is very useful, but I don't think it should take over your life.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, everybody says, tech will take over this and that, but tech is never gonna cook your meal for you, and it tastes the same way as
I was going to say,
someone
I hope
else.
it does.
No, you see, because it'll taste different. It will.
Yeah.
Something. If I cook something and my girls, they've eaten it at my mom's house, they'll say, well, this is not like Teta's food.
Yeah.
Why isn't this like Teta's? Why doesn't it taste exactly the same?
Yeah.
My husband will know if I've cooked something or someone else in the house has. There is a touch to cooking, and I think the family feels your love when you cook for them.
Yeah, absolutely. But how did you build the tech? Did you outsource it in the start? Did you hit any rough spots or bumps? Because for most non-tech founders that I've met or spoken to, there's a learning curve when it comes to building a tech product. What was the journey like for you? Did you bring on a CTO?
I had advice from a very good friend of mine who's a CTO, and it took me 4 months to find my app developers.
Yeah.
And I did want someone who spoke Arabic as well, because I'm releasing it in Arabic for the region also, and maybe in other languages, I don't know, but Arabic. And I found that the Jordan team, because I go to Jordan quite a bit, my parents live there. It was very easy for me to work with them. They're a young, hungry team. I have access to them 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
They understand.
24 hours a day?
24 hours. That was my condition at the beginning. I'm like, if something happens, I'm going to be like banging on your door. They're
in-house,
lovely.
they're your own employees?
No. Well, no. They are, it's outsourced.
Okay.
But we are in talks to, kind of merge or something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's a bad thing. It's as long as I trust them.
Yeah.
And outsourcing is not a bad thing for a startup. It reduces the cost.
Especially in the start. I mean, it doesn't always reduce the cost. Sometimes it increases the cost, depending on if you end up with bad players or you seem to have a really good team.
Yes.
But I think I'm seeing that a lot actually with non-tech founders, where they will first develop that trust with a good team and then bring them on board.
Exactly.
Like you're saying, like even if you merge or there's some kind of like an acqui-hire situation, and you just bring those same people on board to become your full-time team, and that works out.
Exactly.
But you said something that I want to pick up on. You said you're releasing it in Arabic.
Yes.
Now, as a non-Arabic speaker, we've had a bit of a journey with metric and Arabic.
Mm-hmm.
One of our biggest learnings was that Arabic is not the same everywhere. When we say Arabic for the region, that really doesn't mean anything, because to a Moroccan, the Arabic is going to mean completely different. To a Saudi, it's going to be completely different. Emirati dialect is completely... Egyptian is different. Lebanese is different. So the first time we tried to hire somebody to do a video in Arabic for us, we started getting messages saying, guys, this is not like your layman Arabic. This is very different Arabic, and you've gotten the wrong dialect. So what is, and I think are you an Arabic speaker yourself?
I'm Palestinian.
You're Palestinian.
So,
So what Arabic and how is that journey kind of looking like for you? What are the difficulties that you've come across with this?
Well, because it's an app, we use classical Arabic, which every single Arab
MSA,
learns.
yeah.
What's MSA?
I think that's what they call classical.
Is it? Oh.
I'm still learning.
It's okay. I don't know MSA. But classical Arabic is what we learn in school.
Okay.
So every single Arab will understand classical Arabic. It's how the news is said. It's how all our books are written. It's written in classical Arabic. So I won't have a problem, I don't think, because it's actually, you read the method. So I won't have trouble with that. I've lived in, I grew up in Kuwait, I've lived in Qatar, here in the UAE, in Jordan. I find that most Arabs in this region, we do understand each other.
Yeah.
It's very rare to really have a complete breakdown of communication. So as long as it's in classical, you're pretty safe. And if you want to say it verbally, classical, you're pretty safe.
Yeah. I think this is a challenge, like I said, more so for people who are not from an Arabic background, and we're seeing like an influx of startups and founders coming in from around the world into the UAE and into Saudi even, that are now on a learning curve about what it means to be building in Arabic for the region. But another interesting thing, I actually was reading an interview of yours online somewhere where it said that you've been in the UAE since '99.
Yes.
You've seen this ecosystem grow.
Yeah.
What has that journey looked like? And are you engaged in the entrepreneurship ecosystem right now? Where do you find value for yourself within the entrepreneurship ecosystem in the UAE?
Well, I think it's such a vibrant one in the UAE. You have so much access to so many conferences and workshops, and I find that a lot of people really want to help each other out here. It's my impression that people like to feel needed, and they like their opinions asked because they matter. If somebody asks you, it means you matter. So I think the UAE is crucial in that aspect, in innovation, in just getting around. Networking is easy. If you put yourself out there, you will be picked up. So you just have to kind of let it carry you along. And the UAE is wonderful like that.
Absolutely. And I think the putting yourself out there piece that's where it comes down to.
What's the worst that's going to happen? Someone's going to tell you no. That's okay. if you're heading down that path, you have to have a bit of a thick skin. You have to take no. You have to, and it's nothing personal.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll be wanted. Sometimes you won't. Sometimes people will think it's a great idea. Sometimes they won't.
Yeah.
But
it's hard to not take it personally when it's. I think we get so connected to the businesses that we're building and the mission that we're on or the cause that we're behind, that it's hard to not take it personally.
Yeah, I do have thick skin, I have to say. I do. And I ask for criticism, and I tell people, rip it apart or do this. And sometimes it'll work and sometimes it won't. And sometimes they'll realize that they're not the target market necessarily. So they'll try to fit it into what they want, but they aren't my target market for the moment. And but then I'll take into account what they said, because maybe eventually they might be my target market.
Yeah.
It just depends how you take it. And honestly, I don't think it's that deep as my kids keep telling me. It's not that deep.
That's teenagers for you. So on Thick Skin, what has your fundraising journey looked like for Youfeed? Have you had any investors on board? Are you fundraising right now? What are the challenges that you've had, or what are the highs that you've had so far?
Well, I'm very fortunate in that. Well, first of all, I had to learn the lingo, right? Yeah. So there was a lot of the pre-seed, the seed, the angels, the Series 1, the Series B, A, which, by the way, I'm still trying to work through. So I think I am at the friends and family.
Okay.
Very lucky. And they are on safes, I think.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah. All a learning curve. Honestly, it was Chinese to me.
Yeah.
And sometimes I didn't understand it many times after it was explained to me, but eventually I found someone to explain it to me. Actually, it's, I was lucky enough to meet your husband.
No, I'm glad that we were able to help.
He explained it, and I told him so many times.
I'm glad we were able to help. Yeah. But it is like Chinese, right? Fundraising is a whole different ballgame. Like you're on this side building the business and figuring out growth and what that looks like, and customers and 600 people responding to you on WhatsApp groups and using your product and you learning from them. And I know now you're at what, 40,000? I'm
about to hit 100,000 installs. Active users, I'm between 30 and 35,000. So
30 and 35.
Which is still great.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah,
that's 30 to 35% active users overall, 30 to 35,000 individuals that are using your product regularly. That's amazing. And again, imagine the kind of feedback that you're getting and the kind of iterations that you can do on it, and what you can give back to them and the value that you can create.
Yeah, and actually a surprising target market came up as university students. So a lot of kids going abroad, and they want to keep, they want to cook.
Yeah.
But
they have to cook, because now they don't have their moms cooking
exactly.
For them.
So a lot of university students started accessing the app. So I was really happy about that. A taste
That's
of home,
interesting.
A taste of home.
And that's not a target audience that you had in mind when you were developing this?
I had initially thought about it, but really my initial target was moms. And but at the end of the day, anybody who can't be bothered to decide what to cook every day can use it. But again, I was told, no, you have to narrow down the target. You can't just sit there targeting everybody. You have to narrow it down. So I've narrowed it down for now.
Yeah.
But I do have many, many targets, especially as the app develops and as I introduce different features, and when I introduce the subscription model also, so many different aspects will be added. It's very exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. And, yes, like you said, I think you come in with a hypothesis that this is going to be my main target audience, but then when users actually use it is when you start to learn what that split ends up looking like, and the more people use it, the better it's going to be.
I mean, my daughter, my youngest, is 10, and she showed it to her friends because she had school snacks, and they're like, "Oh, your school snacks are so good," and school snacks is one of the things on the app, and she's like, "Well, my mom has this app." And a couple of them downloaded it, and they started looking at the school snacks and telling
kids.
Yeah.
Wow.
10-year-olds, because school snacks is a whole thing in school. Everybody looks at what the other's eating.
Really?
Oh, what is that? What is that? And
oh my God, I have that to look forward to.
You do. So school snacks, and it gets them involved. It's very important for children to become involved in food at a very early age.
Yeah.
And it's nice for them to decide for themselves. It just gets them involved in the whole thing.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And what are you, in terms of growth for Youfeed, what are you looking at? I mean, 40,000 is quite impressive. If you're calling yourself still at friends and family, I think the numbers in themselves are really impressive. And this is the first official funding round that you're doing, right? Like the friends and family round.
It's kind of rolling thing.
Okay. And how many co-founders are you?
No, it's just
You're
me.
a solo founder.
Yes, but I am searching for a co-founder. If somebody wants to come along, I'd love a co-founder.
What kind of co-founder are you looking for? What skill set?
So I think maybe a business development, CFO, business development. I don't know,
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe not a CTO. I don't think CTO co-founder. We can be 3. So business business oriented, someone who's very business and finance,
Yeah.
and a CTO. I think that's the perfect two.
Yeah, like a chief commercial officer sort of person who does the business side of things and handles the
Who can get me
revenue and sales side of things.
who can get me the food brands
The
to
brand
sponsor and
connections.
advertise. Yeah.
And that's the trajectory that you're looking at with 40,000 users now on board, bringing brands on that want to sell to these 40,000 users and want to make their lives easier.
Exactly. I mean, the food brands, I think they're losing out on a very crucial part of the user journey for them. Usually, when I go into the supermarket, I look at the brands and I pick the familiar ones. But it would be so much easier if it's on my shopping list. I have the brand already there. I get asked a lot, which brand do you use of cooking oil? Which brand do you use of ghee? Which brand, where do you buy this? Noodles, even anything. So I think the food brands, it's very important for them to be there.
Yeah, I think they have to be a part of the story, right? And for people to be able to make good choices, like you said, in the shortest possible amount of time without spending too much. And not just food brands, even delivery brands. Because if Youfeed is telling me to cook XYZ, then that should be a simple next click for me to put those things in my basket and just order them to my home, because I don't want to leave my house in this heat, right?
That's true. I still like going to I still go to the supermarket. Because I like to see what there is. Today I came across a fruit I've never seen in my life. It was called a sumo mandarin. So I bought one and I'm going to cut it. I'm going to see what happens. So
you are a foodie. You enjoy food.
I do enjoy food. I enjoy cooking. For me, it's my meditation. For me, the act of cooking is very calming. The cutting, the noises, the chopping, the wood, the frying, the sizzling. It's a very in the moment act, because you have to be in the moment. You have to pay attention, whether you put salt or not, whether you put the spices. You can't forget these things. So it's actually a very, very mindful exercise. And people usually look outside to meditate and to find things that will calm their minds.
Go on a retreat to be mindful.
Yeah, all you have to do is walk into the kitchen, because you're forced to be mindful.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll
get burnt.
You'll cut your finger off, or exactly, you'll get burned. It's very mindful. So
yeah, do you have? And you might not have one, but is there a controversial food opinion that you have or feel very strongly about when it comes to the food sector as a whole, or food in general?
I gotta say, I'm a classicist.
Okay.
When it comes to food. The fusion things, I'm not a big fan of. I mean,
no chocolate golgappas for you. Those sound horrible.
No
Please
chocolate anything. I'm not a fan of dessert in general. I like savory food, but once I was visiting my mom, and she asked me, what do you want to eat? What should I cook for you? And I told her I want kusa mahshi, which is stuffed courgettes. And, the problem is in your head, if you're expecting a taste and then you get something else, the
disappointment
upset.
level is just...
Well, I got very upset when she added pine nuts.
Okay. We
do not add pine nuts. And I just didn't understand why she had to add pine nuts. And I didn't eat. And it was probably the one time I sulked. So yes, I'm a classicist. When I learn a dish, I'll cook it as is. I will not add or subtract in general. It's fusion I'm not a huge fan of.
Yeah, somebody once put vinegar in my biryani, and I still
That's
to this date
cool.
talk about it. No. Like that to this date. I cannot forgive that man.
Absolutely.
It's just
my sister-in-law is Italian.
Okay.
And we make something called macaroni blaban, which is a huge comfort food. It's pasta with garlic yogurt, and minced meat and onions fried.
That sounds amazing.
And it's just like but when she first came into the family and we made it, she just stared at it. She's like, "What is this?" We said, "It's macaroni blaban." She's like, "I don't understand what it is." I said, "It's yogurt," and she's like, "I still don't understand." And to this day, I mean, they've been married for over 25 years. She's like, "No, it's a no. It's a no. I won't. I can't do it." She can't bring herself to it.
It was insulting.
Exactly.
To Italians everywhere.
So yes, so you see, food brings out a lot of passion.
Yeah, absolutely. So last few questions. What is something that keeps you up at night when it comes to the business side of things? What has been a challenge that you faced down in the past when it comes to building a business here in the UAE, in the GCC, building a tech business?
I gotta say, there's a bit of panic sometimes.
Okay.
That what if I don't reach where I need to reach in terms of installs or active users? What if suddenly everybody uninstalls overnight? What if, the fundraising, usually when I panic, I have a couple of people in mind who I just say, okay, I'm just going to talk to them tomorrow. And I turn a lot to a lot of friends who have helped me enormously in this journey. And I think when they say that the founder's journey is a lonely journey, it can be, but I think you should talk to people because then you're not so lonely.
Building community is probably one of the most, one of the highest leverage activities that you can do as a founder, because especially finding people who've been on this journey before, right?
Yes, for sure. And even not even that, anyone who will just give you some encouragement and say, no, you know what? I love it. I believe in it. I use it. And it just gives you that little push that you need, that little reassurance. I think it's very important to get reassurance. And it's not so lonely.
Yeah.
When you talk to people about the problems that you're having, whether they can help you or not, you're just talking to someone and they kind of put it into perspective for you.
Yeah.
So that's
or
always
even
good.
people who can just rage with you. Sometimes it's important to let the anger out, right? Like if you're feeling upset about something, also being able to speak to somebody else who understands where you're coming from and is just able to let you vent.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. What is a high for you? What on this journey has been like the moment where you were like, this is the right thing that I'm doing. This, I need to build this. Do you have a story?
Yeah, I was this past summer actually. I was sitting with some people for lunch, and one of my cousins was sitting with me, and a lady came that I didn't know, and she was introducing me, and then my cousin's like, oh, this is Arij. She has the app Youfeed, and the woman just looked at me. She's like, oh my god, I love your app. It saves me every day. And it's that reaction that I've helped someone, and I've gotten them out of the misery of making yet another decision. The average human makes up to 30,000 decisions a day.
Wow.
As a mom, you probably make up to 50,000 decisions a day, especially when you'll see it coming. When your daughter comes down the stairs and says, should I have my hair up or down? Should I use this clip or that clip? Should I wear this T-shirt or that T-shirt? And as a mom, it just gets more and more and more. So I think that's what propels me.
This is why I feel exhausted all the time. There's 50,000 decisions every single day.
Yeah, as a mom.
And then if you add being a startup founder on top of that.
Yes. I am a very decisive person though. I think that helps me a lot. And I'm not a perfectionist. So whoever I look to help me, I make sure that they're better than I am at whatever it is that I'm bringing them in to help me with. And as long as I tell my kids, no one's bleeding, do whatever you have to do and just come to me with, if there's a huge decision that needs to be made.
So looking back to when you started, last question, I promise, is there anything that you would do differently?
I think I might have spent a bit more time talking to other app founders, just to understand I'm doing a lot of things now that I maybe should have done at the beginning. Yeah. But again, it could be anything. Yeah. I'm doing a lot more exposure now. Yeah. Right? I didn't realize I had to do it this much. So now I learned. Yeah. And I'm doing it more. But I think even learning about the app and the tech part of it and being more comfortable speaking about it, I think, I needed some time. Yeah. So alhamdulillah, I'm in a good place.
Alhamdulillah. And I think that's true for all of us. Looking back, same thing. I wish we had spoken to more, even though we thought we had enough information and we had done the research.
Precisely, yeah.
But there are still decisions that today we're like, why didn't we just start with this tech, even tech stacks, right? Like, why didn't we just start with this versus like now having to have like at different points shift to different things because we outgrew them too fast, for example. So even on the tech side, on the hiring side, there's always something.
The tech side, like, why didn't I put this button there from the beginning? Why am I only thinking of it now? This button should have been there from the beginning. So yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, there's always that.
I think, as founders, the existential crisis, like you said, there's always something that's happening. There's always something that we need to be on top of, and always something also that we're learning, and like looking back also and learning from our own mistakes while we continue to build. That's the reality of our lives.
It is.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
What you've achieved with Youfeed in such a short period of time, with limited resources, frankly, because you did not go out and do like a massive pre-seed round to then fund you building this. You actually built it, you tested it out, you got real people giving you feedback and using you. 40,000 is a great number. And now you're taking it to the next level, and I can't wait to see what you do with it next.
And make sure you download it, MENA.
I absolutely will. I did not know school snacks were an important thing. I've just been sending whatever we could get our hands on at last minute. So thank you so much for building it.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Take care.
You too.